Oh, Deputy Laura, I think the lights just dimmed, did they? Felt like something went out.
No, just one of them went out.
Ah, okay.
They did not dim, they went out.
Hey, that's what happens on a Friday Eve.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. Thank you. When I call the docket, please stand. Let me know you are here. All right, it's still Friday Eve, but there have already been a little complications. The AC went out in this building, so if you're hot, that's why. The other building, the Wi-Fi is down. Lights just went out. I was told by the deputy they were not turned down, they just went out. So of course, since we'll need the light replaced, we'd have to put in an order for that, and that'll probably take a month. So we're gonna go where we go because it's Friday Eve, so we should all be excited about that. We do have a large docket today. In custody, we have Kobe Leach, Jacqueline Alonzo, Alfred Flores III. Thank you. Eleazar Alejandro. Thank you. Nathaniel Villalobos. Thank you. Mariah Rodriguez, custody. Thank you. Carlos Terrazas, custody. Sarah Elizabeth Gutierrez. Sarah Elizabeth Gutierrez. Sergio Chavez.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Thank you. Israel Medellin. Israel Medellin. Riot Aguilar. Riot Ryan Aguilar. Jonathan Reitmeyer. Frank Patterson.
It's Christian Law.
I'm sorry. Oh, I am so sorry. I called the attorney as though he was on the docket. Somebody's like, oh, I heard somebody say, oh my gosh. Okay, Jonathan Reitmeyer does not have any charges pending in the 187. Christian Rojas. Christian Rojas, thank you. It's the way they write this docket now.
Yeah.
Ruben Renteria. Darren Johnson. Darren Johnson. Brandon Diaz. And Deputy Laura, you could call IT. Okay. Curtis Wilson, custody. Thank you. Raymond Sanchez, custody. Jacorian Smith, custody. Marie-Therese Maria. Marie-Therese Maria. I know I mispronounced. Mariah?
Yeah.
How you pronounce the last name?
Yeah.
All right, Marie-Therese Mayara. Okay. Raymond Sanchez, custody. Nick Gomez, custody. Ramiro Sandoval. Thank you. Travis Gordon Westbrook. Thank you. Amber Salazar. Paul Anthony Luna, custody. John Anthony Martinez. Thank you. Thank you. Clarence McDaniel, custody. David Michael Lind.
Please, President, Your Honor, that will be a plea.
Thank you. Priscilla Para. Priscilla Janelle Para.
Your Honor, I'm here on that court appointed. I do not see her. She has not contacted
She's in
me.
custody.
She's in jail.
That's why she hasn't contacted.
Yes. Stephen Jerome Tennyson, custody. Floyd Dwayne Allen. Floyd Allen. Oh, thank you. Ross Kuko, custody. Israel Medellin, Monique Raleigh Williams. Thank you. Rick Contreras, custody. Deshaun Thomas, custody. Paul Vasquez, Mariah Rodriguez, Adam Aguilar, custody. Michael Anthony Perez.
Council, Your Honor, that will be a sentencing.
Thank you.
Will be victim impact.
All right, please remove the shades. Ashley Draper Ward, custody. Amaya Lewis, custody. Christopher Miller. Thank you. Where's Christopher Miller? Ah, thank you. Jamin Davy. Dirkland Jamin Davy. Lena Moran, custody. RC Curtis should be by Zoom. Enoch Seguno, custody.
Present, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, is there anyone? Hi. Oh, we're here for.
Yeah, out.
Okay, all right, thanks. Is there anyone present? Your name was not called or you came in late? Please stand. We'll start over here. Yes, black shirt. Riot Aguilar. All right, you need to be on the front row. He's on page 3. Right. Yes, red top. Yes.
Erica Gutierrez.
Is she on the docket? Do you know your case number or SID number?
111-8770.
I'm sorry, what, Norman?
Because she's a Mario Lens client.
Is she on the docket?
That I can look.
All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. Yes, in the back. Noah Aloha. All right, do you know your case number or SID number? Do you know who your attorney is? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you, okay? Over here, yes. Victor Garcia. Do you know your case number or SID number? You said he's on the docket? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you, okay? All right, attorneys, these are the rules, and you all need to follow these rules. If you don't follow these rules, you're being disrespectful, and to the people who do not benefit because other people are following rules, you have my permission to tap them on the shoulder and tell them to step aside. So these are the rules. Attorneys, this is criminal trial division file. This is family violence file. As you can see, it's crowded. As you can see, there's supposedly an uptick in COVID. They say there's some kind of triple COVID now, and then they have dengue fever also. So you probably don't want to be breathing on each other. So all you have to do, attorneys, is take your file from the box, sit it on the prosecutor's desk and have a seat. That's it. And guess what? They're going to call you in the order of appearance. So attorneys, don't do this thing where you're in a rush to go somewhere else and therefore you get to leapfrog in front of your colleagues. Don't be that person. Just put the file down, have a seat. They will call you in the order in which you appear, period. We have a lot of inmates here. So once you request your inmate, do not leave, because for security reasons, the deputies can only have so many inmates in the box. If you call for your inmate and you leave this courtroom, guess what? You are being selfish, because that means that your colleague who's here can't call their client out. And do not do this thing that some people have done. I'm not going to call names. I could, I should, but I'm not, because my mom wouldn't want me to. Don't do that thing where another court is looking for you and they call me because somebody said, Judge Boyd won't let me leave. I know who you are. I know who said it. And I told them they are not here. We have not seen them. So don't be that person. If your client wishes to speak to the court in a language other than English, we need an interpreter. Let the clerk know that we need an interpreter. Do not approach this bench unless you have conferred with the state and conferred with your client. Once you're ready to approach, all you have to do is come up here, ask the clerk or the coordinator to pull your file. They will pull it, have a seat. I will call you in the order of appearance. The only exception is if you need an interpreter. They will leapfrog everybody because we have a limited number of interpreters. If your client is on probation, or if they are entering a plea bargain agreement, speak with probation. They're in the back corner. Let them know they're a part of this legal system like everyone else is. Does everyone understand? The other thing, there's a sign over there that people don't want to read. It says, do not approach when we are on docket and when I am calling a case and we are on record. You'll know we're on record because I will have called the style of the case. Do not talk behind the court reporter when we're on the record. All right, it's going to be a busy Friday Eve, but hey, it's Friday Eve. Can't be happier. All right, everyone, please confer.
Hello.
Oh, good, great. With the AC?
AC, we got it fixed.
Yes.
It's gonna take a while. I mean, the amount of people here though, it's gonna be a little
Oh, yeah.
humid, but they got it fixed. It's take a few hours to cool down. So that's it, all right. I gave you my phone.
Oh, yes, thank you.
They get you monitor.
Oh, no, it's, the screen is black.
The AV monitor?
Yes. Deputy Laura,
Did you confer with the defendant?
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
You still have to call.
That's just.
Innocent.
I need to feel a part.
Yes, so I don't know why this keeps going out. They can change certain things, but it still goes out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's not the big screen, it's her AV monitor on her.
Mhm.
Yeah, not these guys. Okay, I'll get her another. And we're taking a spot. So I do here. That's the first one. Is who handles all AV equipment. So if you ever need to, just call us, because BCIT, they can't touch it.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So how long is it? I'm not leaving.
They didn't have to be judged.
Who? Yes, she's gonna try to get in touch with them too. Yes, sure, sure.
I think she was, yes, before I got here, yes.
And attorneys, we have an intern here today, James. James, get in there and mix it up.
They're gonna have someone come up soon to check it out.
All right, thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Who's here? Mariah Rodriguez? Are you all ready?
Oh, it does.
All right, so everyone, don't ask the clerk to put your file up here until you're all ready. Otherwise, I'm gonna call you.
And we're ready.
Oh, okay, you ready? Okay, sure. Okay. Hi, counsel. How you doing?
I'm sorry, I was just
Oh,
trying to make
no.
a funeral this morning.
No, you should have called us and let us know. We could have just recalled this for a different day.
Well, she's got a probation deal. I didn't want her to sit in jail any longer than necessary.
Okay,
So anyhow, we're here on the PSI.
all right. Is this the only file for Mariah Rodriguez? Ah, all right, just give us one quick
Oh, that's
thing. The
okay.
court reporter just went down the hallway
Oh,
very quickly,
No
and
problem.
I'll take it up immediately.
Okay. yeah.
All right, thank you. Can you look up and tell me, is she in her plea of no contest or guilty? Because it wasn't written on here. Nothing's written on here. All right, thank you. No. All right. Okay. Is he in custody? All right, Frank Patterson. Yes, you are. All right, Mr. Patterson, my understanding you've applied for PTD and you filled out everything? All right, Ms. Ferguson, give me a date, please. I'm sorry.
Give me one second. First row. I can do August 1st, Judge.
All right, we're going to come back on August 1st. Hopefully you will have completed everything by then, all right? All right, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Have a good one. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you.
Yes. Priscilla?
Yes.
I only have twice. I'm going holiday. Me? Me.
Hello, morning. All right. And Mr. Cano, as soon as the court reporter is back, I'll take you up first, okay?
Yeah. Gotta know.
Oh, no problem. All right, the parties on Mariah Rodriguez, please.
Noah Gonzalez.
Court is calling 2022 CR 7675, State of Texas versus Mariah Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel S. Clark from the state of Texas.
defense?
Ed Connell for the defendant.
And are you Miss Rodriguez?
I am, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea of guilty on May 15, 2024.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision. This will run concurrent with 685538. They will take in consideration 2023 CR 2440. You all need to whisper. County Court cause number 685330. There's to be restitution to Justin Alget, ALTGELT, Charlesty, CHARLESTY, Birchfield, BURCHFIELD, Latazua, LATAZUA, Wilson. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state,
Yes, Judge.
defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections?
No, ma'am.
All right, the state is recommending probation, defense.
Yes, Judge.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending a length of community supervision for 4 years. Any objection to that?
No, Judge. There's just what the court needs to be aware of is that my client, when she was arrested in Kentucky, she was in rehab. So she has a drug case in Kentucky in McCracken County that she was put on probation for. She went to rehab for about 10 months, got out, tested dirty, and she was in a rehab facility when she was picked up and then extradited here. And so we would ask that she be allowed. So if she is given a probation, she would be returning back to a place called Recovery Plus, which was her inpatient.
It's an inpatient
Yeah.
rehab.
Inpatient rehab, and I believe that's in McCracken,
No, in Madisonville.
Madisonville, Kentucky. So we respectfully ask that if her probation can be transferred there.
All right, probation, are you aware of excuse me, we're on the record.
I'm sorry, Judge.
There's a sign that says don't approach while we're on the record.
I apologize.
All right, thank you. All right, probation. Are you aware of this Recovery Plus that's in McCracken?
I am not, Judge.
All right. Do you know how long the treatment is?
6 months, Judge. And she completed about 30 days when she was arrested. So she's got about 5 more to go.
All right. Probation, do you have any objection to her being transferred to Madisonville, Kentucky? According to the TAP evaluation, they're recommending safety.
Right, Your Honor, we also don't have an accurate address here on this PSI, so we're gonna transfer her to what address, there's no address listed.
And my understanding is that they're willing, the folks at Recovery Plus are willing to come get her.
All right, so the address,
It's on East Center Street.
all right, the address the court has from Google is 336 East Center Street, Madisonville, Kentucky, 42431. All right, so this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended for 4 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 685538. Taking consideration 2023 CR 2440. County Court Cause number 685330. There's to be restitution, if any, to Justin Aljat, Charles Steve Birchfield, Latawazua Wilson. She's to remain in custody until transfer to Recovery Plus for Women. Located at 336 East Center Street, Madisonville, Kentucky. 42431. The court will allow request a transfer. What county is that?
I am not quite sure, ma'am. I'm
All
sorry.
right. I'll look it up. All right, thank you. So there's to be a transfer to Madisonville, Kentucky. Do you have any family in Madisonville?
No, ma'am.
Her significant others are church people in
Wait, I can't understand. What did you say?
her significant others who she was residing with before were her church friends from Kentucky. Was it Paducah?
Yes.
In Paducah, Kentucky, which is McCracken, Kentucky, which is where her case is being managed from, Judge. So Madison is not, is it close by?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's where the.
All right, everyone, when we're on the record, don't talk behind the court reporter. You can ask that your client be moved down there. If it's crowded down there, everyone will just have to wait your turn.
Yes, it's where the probation have sent me for rehab.
All
In
right, so
Madisonville.
I'm doing a transfer to Madisonville, Kentucky. If she wants to transfer someplace other than Madisonville, Kentucky, she needs to get permission from the court. Because I can't have her just wandering from place to place.
Yes, ma'am.
And if these charges were picked up by her while she is with the church people, then maybe those are not appropriate people.
No, they weren't picked up when I was living with them, ma'am.
All right, so here's the thing. You're not allowed to transfer from Madisonville, Kentucky, unless I allow you to transfer from there.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're gonna have to sign a release from this Recovery Plus for Women so that probation can see how you're doing. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I will.
All right, do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right. There's gonna be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's gonna be regular random UAs. There's gonna be 120 sober meetings and 120 days upon release from Recovery Plus. Did you obtain your high school diploma?
No, ma'am.
All right, oh, State, you may be excused. Thank you. Let me give this to you, counsel.
Sorry, Judge, waiting for my moment.
All right, and let me give this to you. So what are you planning on doing with your life?
Getting my GED and trying to do the right thing.
All right, so I'm gonna set your community service restitution hours at 120 hours. Once you obtain your GED, 60 of those hours will be satisfied. And then if you are in someone's trade school and obtains your certificate, or if you're seeking a higher level of education, the remaining 60 hours will be waived. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release from custody. There's to be no employment as a as a home health care provider or with minors. And if they are able to do field visits in Kentucky, I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 6 months upon release. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, miss, I appreciate everything you've done.
All right, thank you. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes,
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Just
yes.
one last thing. So as part of the plea agreement, he was supposed to plea on on one misdemeanor, which is a failure to stop and give information. And she did that on May 15th.
Okay,
Okay, already. So that, she's done all that already.
all right, thank you. We can go off the record. Here's the thing. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there is an issue, call your probation officer and let them know. Your probation officer is going to be in Kentucky. If you feel as though they're not responsive, you can call the probation office here. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And do not leave Madisonville, Kentucky until I give you the okay to leave that place. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. So, I'll be waiting for the jail in Madisonville, Kentucky to come get me to.
No, your attorney has told us that that
Okay.
Recovery Plus will actually send someone here to pick you up.
Okay, and I'll let them know to get a hold of the jail to release me or to get a hold of who to release me to them.
Probation will probably be able to give you better information than I can.
Okay,
All right. Probation,
Yes, Judge.
the number to Recovery Plus, according to Google, is 502 947
Okay.
4850.
Got it.
All right, thank you.
thank you,
All
ma'am.
right, okay, thanks, Judge. Can I be excused?
Yes. Who is here on Michael Anthony Perez?
Okay, please, hold on.
Yes.
Before we begin, we just have one big.
Okay, sure. Here you go. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 0254, State of Texas versus Michael Anthony Perez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel Escobar with the state of Texas.
defense?
Raymond Martinez and Victoria Cruz for Mr. Pettis.
And are you Mr. Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're here for sentencing. You entered a plea of guilty to count one. I'm sorry, you entered a plea of no contest to count one, of no contest to count four. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court found you guilty of count one and count four, and the court found an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon, and we're here today for sentencing. Are both parties ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement and counts one and count four, you will be sentenced to 12 years. And it stated that if you did not appear for sentencing, then the full range of punishment would be open, but you appeared. The court will follow your agreement, and according to the law, I must run these two concurrently. So to count one, the court will sentence you to 12 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with count four, and the court will sentence you to 12 years in the prison. Court will give you credit for any time served. The court will find an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, no.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, and this is what I try to tell people. Yes, some people can go to a restaurant, they drink a drink, everything is fine. But to be on the safe side, if you know you're going to drink, just don't drive. Get an Uber. Get somebody who is, the person who doesn't drink, which is me. And guess what? Usually when you do that, The person who doesn't drink is happy to drive everybody because usually everybody gives that person a free meal because they're the sober driver. So good luck to you. My understanding is they have a victim impact.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Here. Put your back to this. Yes. Okay.
Gilbert didn't die because of disease or some medical condition or because of some dangerous behavior on his part. He died because of you. You're irresponsible for your actions. You made choices that fatal night. You chose to drink that night. You chose to drink too much. You then chose to get behind the wheel of a vehicle and drive, knowing you had been drinking. And lastly, you chose to go through that red light and crashed into our car, killing my husband and badly injuring me. I have since recovered from my injuries, but my husband is dead, all because of you. You didn't use a gun or a knife to kill him. You used your vehicle. He was my world, my everything. You took him from me, his family, and his friends. Our lives are forever changed. My husband was a good and decent man. We were together for 42 years. There's such a horrible emptiness in my life now. My heart is filled with sorrow every single day, and I'm filled with disdain for you. My husband and I were just innocently driving home that night, celebrating Christmas Eve with our family. Why did you take and drive? There's other choices you could have made that night. Because of your irresponsible choice, my husband is dead. I want you to look over here. This is my husband, Gilbert. I want you to look at his face and remember it. This is the man you killed because of your irresponsibility. I hope he and what you did to him will be on your mind every single day for the rest of your life. The fate you now face is of your own making. You're the one who did the drinking of alcohol and irresponsibly chose to get behind the wheel of a vehicle and drive, which resulted in taking a life.
Thank you. Stephen Tennyson.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Okay, how are you doing?
It's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Judge, this is the first setting. I'm not ready for two reasons. He picked up a first degree felony and they're gonna try to it's a fairly new case. I did confer with ADA Edelman. He's gonna contact the prosecutors.
All right, what's the new charge?
The charge?
Yes.
I can go real quick. If I can read this correctly.
Oh, no, I see it.
Is it?
All right, I see it here.
Oh,
Okay.
May I say something, ma'am? If it's possible?
All right,
I
well,
would-
here's
I would
the thing,
advise
just a
about the
second,
same.
just 1 second.
Fine, please.
All right, so if you're gonna try to talk to me about the facts of your case and say I didn't do it.
No, no.
All right, here's the thing, that's something you should speak with your attorney about.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
Yes.
What I was going to say, the new case.
Judge, I'd like to finish addressing the court on what.
Well, here's the thing, counsel, I allow people to talk if they want to talk.
Thank you.
I've already instructed your client, if he wants to speak
Okay.
about the new case, then that's something you probably shouldn't be doing. Your attorney is telling you not to speak about that case.
I wasn't speaking about, I was gonna share that the case came about while I was in jail.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
you talking about the case because you're trying to tell me right now that you're not guilty of that because you were in custody while it happened. That's you trying to tell me the facts of your
Yes, ma'am,
case.
I'm sorry.
So you need to listen to your attorney, okay?
Please.
All right. So is this going to be in a special unit?
I don't know, Judge, it's fairly new. He's gonna reach out to the prosecutors. I suppose that would be, I think.
I think it's a special unit.
Um,
Ms. Ferguson, recall this for 45 days.
And there's another attorney on the case.
All right, who is that?
Sullivan, I believe. I can look it up quick. It's hard to read these records. It would be, James Scott Sullivan.
Okay. All right, we'll be back on August 8th. And Ms. Ferguson, make sure James Scott Sullivan is present as well. All
Thank
right,
you.
is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Yeah, you too, sir. Circle back.
Who's here? I'm Ruben Renteria.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Hello, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, today is your plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge. I've conferred with the state. He's got 4 unindicted cases. So I bring it to court attention. We don't have a resolution because we don't have those, we don't have the case yet, and I don't think the state has.
All right, who's the prosecutor on this? Hi. All right, state, I know that some of the cases that are indicted, they're drug cases. Do you have any idea with the possession of a controlled substance penalty group 2, 4 grams to 400 grams? Do you have any idea of when those laboratory reports will be back?
None whatsoever, Your Honor.
All right.
One of the cases is a possessed weapon in places, Your Honor.
Mhm.
And after a brief review, I think that should be relatively easy to indict. But I do not know the time frame for.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
can you recall this on August 8th as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you all need to see about the labs on that date.
And Judge, on August the 8th, no, never mind, I'm here. I
All
thought
right,
I thought I was
thank
on
you.
vacation. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Maybe we speed up to reach time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Judge. Your brother.
All right, thank you.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Sir, your name's Mr. Mahood?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, on the, excuse me, counsel, on the 4, yes, on the 4 grams to 400 grams, the labs are already in. So Norma, pass me the file back. Mr. Renteria, as you can come back. All right, it appears that the 4 grams to 400 grams case has already been indicted. I don't know why it says awaiting indictment on it.
Probably Odyssey.
Norma, could you look that up? That's the only case that he has awaiting indictment. I mean, he has the possession of a weapon.
State showed.
4 you know what, Norma? Check and see if those are the same cases and Odyssey made a mistake. And it's night mag number 761824. And see if that's been indicted.
It's only 2 that he has indicted.
Okay. All right, so are there going to be any other cases? Because let me just tell you, I take all of these cases as just allegations. But if there's another charge that comes up from a different date, you may be hearing your case from behind the Bexar County jail walls. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you back on August 8th.
Yes, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes.
I'm gonna give it to you right now. I wasn't walking.
All right, who's here on Cherish Draper Ward? And then after that, it will be David Lind. All right, where's your client?
I think she is in custody. I was just going to, before we had her brought out, I wanted to address something on that PSI, if they had it.
No, she needs to be brought out for us to address anything. They're not ready.
David?
All right, David Lynn.
Present, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ready?
Court is calling 2024 CR 5072. Counsel, you're on this side. State of Texas versus David Michael Lind. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris Edmond.
Defense?
James Seeloff for the defense.
All right, and then are you Mr. Lynn?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review that with your client?
Yes, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lynn, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we waived the reading of the indictment.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lynn, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand? I'm sorry, just one moment. Okay. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he was.
Mr. Lynn, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 14 months in the state jail facility. The state opposes your application for community supervision and deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
That's our plea.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both
Yes,
places?
ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
Contained in Exhibit 1 and any attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Counsel, do you wish to proceed with sentencing?
Your Honor, we have applied for deferred and probation. The state opposes.
All right, so, okay,
And it's a cap of 14. If you still want to waive or go to PSI.
no, we'll do the PSI
Yeah.
probation. They're saying the PSI is August 22nd. Is that the earliest we can do?
Unless it's a rush.
All right, can we do a rush? All right, what would be a good date then?
If you could at least give it 3 or 4 weeks.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall this for 4 weeks then?
You'll get a reset in just a few minutes.
Okay.
That would be July 25th.
All right, we'll come back on July 25th.
Here.
And probation, that'll be a PSI and TAP evaluation. All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. After he speaks with probation and signs the reset form, he'll be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Follow them and they'll show you where to go.
All right. The party's on Sergio Chavez.
Morning, Judge, President.
Good morning. All right, don't chew gum before the bench. He just got, can he get rid of it? Yes. Your Honor, he says he's sorry. Oh, no problem. All right, have both parties had a chance to review the update letter from pretrial services?
Very briefly, Judge, yes.
All right,
I did, Your Honor.
so do you need more time?
No, I think we can go forward, Judge. My understanding is it was a high brack and then it was failure to calibrate.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 7420, State of Texas versus Sergio Chavez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Good morning, Judge. Alfonso Cabañas for Sergio Chavez.
And are you Sergio Chavez?
Yes.
All right, we have an interpreter. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Norma Nero.
All right, we're here on, the court received an updated letter from pretrial services. According to the pretrial services report, there was a high BRAC reading on May 29, 2024. And then he had a vehicle that was repossessed. And they provided the documentation that the vehicle was repossessed. And it stated that he was going to be purchasing a new vehicle within 20 days. And it appears that we passed the 20-day mark. So counsel, does your client have a vehicle?
Not yet, Your Honor. You mentioned to me that his work hours have been reduced significantly, but he is working with his wife. He's the one driving him around. He's working with her to try to get a vehicle as soon as he can. He also submitted an affidavit of non-driving.
Wait, I'm sorry, you said who is driving?
His wife.
Okay. All right, so the wife's vehicle needs to be equipped with ignition interlock.
Pero ella no vive conmigo.
¿Cómo?
Ella no vive conmigo.
Baby?
No, no estamos juntos.
But, oh, she doesn't live with me. We don't live together.
The vehicle needs to be equipped with ignition interlock because you have access to that vehicle.
Voy a sacar un préstamo el sábado y para otro viernes yo voy a tener mi vida.
Okay, I'm gonna get a loan this Saturday, so by next Friday, I will have my own vehicle.
All right, the vehicle, I want you to hear me clearly. The vehicle that she has needs to be equipped with ignition interlock. And there is to be no driving by you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, the next question is the lockout. It's currently on lockout. That's what the notation I have. So he's not under any device?
No, Your Honor, the vehicle that had the device had been repossessed. So he's under no devices whatsoever.
And Judge State would ask for a scram device. We need to have it monitored.
All right. And defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, I would ask before we get to scram, if, yes, if we're looking for scram, before the court orders that, I believe the update letter says that within 20 days of June 20th, it would be purchasing a vehicle. He just stated on the record that by next Friday, he would have a new vehicle. So would ask the court before it orders scram, at least give him until next Friday to purchase a vehicle and get the ignition interlock installed in his new vehicle.
All right, this is what the court is gonna do. There's gonna be daily UAs and with testing for alcohol. And he's gonna report daily to court, beginning on July 1st, 2024, and that is until he has the scram device or ignition interlock, and he is to have scram or ignition interlock installed no later than July 3rd. Is there anything else?
Not from defense counsel, Your Honor.
Not from the state judge.
And do you understand the court's order?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. So where are we on this case? I think there was a Padilla letter that was needed. Has that been obtained?
It's been requested, Your Honor. I emailed Justin, the Mac immigration attorney this morning for a status on it. But I have not received it yet.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this in 1 month for a plea deadline date. All right, July 25th will be your plea deadline date. Is there anything else from either side?
Not from defense counsel. Your Honor.
Not from the state judge.
All right, thank you. You may be excused.
Maybe excuse me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, just give me a second. Let me write this in. We'll take care of that. We're gonna see what's up. Okay. All right, Mr. Wolf. Where is he? All right. All right, they're making arrangements to transport your client. They're trying to figure out how to do it. All right, thank you.
Can I go to another court?
Yes. All right, who are the parties on Alfred Flores? All right, court is calling 2023 CR 11510A, State of Texas versus Alfred Flores. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Darrell Harris for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Tom Nisbet on behalf of Mr. Flores.
All right, today is the plea deadline date. Have you all reached an agreement or no?
I've extended an offer to this defense, Your Honor. Don't
Yeah, no.
believe they're accepting.
Yes, you all want a jury trial?
We do, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. How long is this trial going to last?
Logistically, I could say in upwards of 3 weeks. Judge.
No. How many witnesses y'all have?
State anticipates of my initial witnesses approximately 25 right now.
All right, so some of those witnesses, I don't think they're probably going to be 25.
Judge, can I
Yes.
speak on it a little bit?
Mhm.
There's a joint defense agreement in this case.
Mhm.
So when I say logistics, I'm referring to not only space, but also time. We're gonna have to accomplish a council table or an area that can accommodate 3 lawyer teams and their respective clients.
All right, so when you all say 3 lawyer teams, I can tell you all the space, turn around, the space that you see in this courtroom is the space that you will have. So if lawyer teams want to bring paralegals and everybody else, they're going to be sitting somewhere in the gallery.
Well, let's just assume for a moment that there's 1 lawyer with each client. We know there to be more. I don't know how you set 6 grown men at that one little table.
You're
I'm just
gonna have to
putting it before
squeeze
the court.
in. I understand. You guys will have to squeeze in. Guess what? This is what the county has available. This is what the county is paid for.
Which is why we're bringing it up. We're curious what else the county has available. Other
Oh,
courtrooms
just
that are
this.
larger entities. Well, I think there's other ones, and so we'd like to explore those possibilities. We wouldn't want it to prejudice the clients or the presentation of the evidence at all. So we're putting it before the court early, in earnest, wanting to be candid with the tribunal and then hopefully
I
find.
appreciate that, but what I will tell you all is judges rarely, if ever, agree to switch courts. So this is where we are. Yes.
And Your Honor, I do not mean to interrupt. I do have an issue that has been pursued. As the court know, we met the discovery deadline at the end of May. There has been an issue that the state had been rebuffed with records of the deceased, the complainant, from a private facility in Kerrville. My office has continued communications with them, and as of 2 days ago, they finally understood that the state of the deceased is not being attacked by this prosecution, and they will have agreed to release the records to me if I get a judicial order signed. I filed this yesterday in the name of defendant Flores. I've let counsel know. I'd like to urge this, and I will share with every defendant if they produce the records of the complainant's residence at Starlight Recovery. I don't believe it's dispositive of any issue, but I do know defendants are interested in it. And I don't mean, sorry for interrupting, I probably should have led with that first, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, this trial is going to take 2 weeks. Give me a jury trial setting for 2 weeks, please.
And would the court, once we have that initial setting, would the court be willing to entertain this case with all 3 defendants? Is specific to my docket. I already have a scheduling order on a different matter, same gravity in another court that I've got to try and align. Is the only reason I'm bringing it up. Judge.
All right, is that other case actually going to go in the other court?
Yes, ma'am. We are in, I'm in the 437th with The LaHood firm was also co-counsel in this. We have a pretrial motion set in mid-September, and we have a firm trial date in November.
And which court is, you say the 437?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see if that goes. Ms. Ferguson, give me a date.
Would the court be open to scheduling orders? The parties had discussed whether we could get together, check the calendars of the experts, the witnesses and the lawyers, and propose a scheduling order to the court.
No. Court is not doing a scheduling order for this. This is gonna be your trial date. If y'all have motions that need to be heard before trial, set it with Ms. Ferguson and the court will be available to hear it. All right, and y'all can set that. Ms. Ferguson, if they have motions, it can be set on a Friday. All right, September 24th.
So I'm hearing the court to say of the lawyer teams and the experts that have been retained in this case, we will not be afforded a chance to see if everybody's schedule can comply with that date. You're setting that as a hard date.
Yeah, it's September 24th. All right. Is there anything else?
Yes, Sharon, if I could approach with
Yes.
a copy of the order. And for the court's information, the order is obviously the last page. The attachment is the email and language from the Starlight Recovery saying they require the court order to comply with meet HIPAA requirements.
When did I forget something?
All right, here you are, counsel. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're all excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Who's next on these cases? Anyone else ready? Alejandro? Hello.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 11510B, State of Texas versus Eleazar Alejandro. I'm working on it.
It's fine.
All right. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daryl Harris for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Mario Del Prado, Mr. Alejandro.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Mario Del Prado.
And you're Mr. Alejandro, correct?
Yes.
All right. Have you all reached an agreement or no?
No, Your Honor.
All right, your jury trial date is September 24th. All right, once you sign the reset form, you all are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, for the record, I know you've already, Mr. Nesbitt approached the court. We would request a special setting because this is a joint defense agreement. There's probably going to be several experts, potentially for each client. Mr. Harris was not opposed to a special setting at the very beginning of the year. We were hoping that the court would consider that. But
All right, I'll consider that. All right, I'll consider it. It's denied. You guys come back on September 24th. All right. Is there anyone else?
Yes.
And is it Villalobos? All right, if you'll come forward, can I see the file on Villalobos, please? I'm sorry. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. All right, we're going to go on the record in 2023 CR 11510C, State of Texas versus Nathaniel Villalobos. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daryl Harris for the state, Your Honor.
For the defense?
Patrick Valentine for Mr. Villalobos.
And are you Mr. Villalobos? All right. I'm assuming no agreement has been reached?
That's correct.
All right. So this will be set for jury trial on September 24th.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, thank you.
Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Who is here on Nick Gomez? All right, court is calling 2024 CR 3597, State of Texas versus Nick Gomez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Andrew Harris Edelman.
defense?
Monica Carl.
Are you Mr. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have judge and we did.
All right, court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gomez, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, waiving the habitual offender enhancement allegation and the count one proceeding on the count two.
Objection.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand in count two, you're charged with felon in possession of a firearm? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe so.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count two. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea.
Yes, Judge.
State is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the waive of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to count two, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Contained in exhibit one and attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right. State, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent? Did you need to speak up? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, if we can go off the record briefly. All right, thank you. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 3597. The court has reviewed state's evidence. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge. Prior to that, I do have a letter that's been penned by my client's mother, Miss Dora Jimenez. She's joining us on Zoom, I believe, or not on Zoom, but she's watching on YouTube. She was not able to testify this morning as she had some childcare issues with her nieces that she was responsible for caring to today. I also have 14 attendance meetings for Narcotics Anonymous. As the court's aware, part of the allegations in the indictment do allege use of narcotics.
State, any objections? I'm sorry, any objections to the court reviewing the letters and the NA meeting submitted by defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
And for the record, that letter was provided to the state earlier this week.
Okay. Court has reviewed the documents that you've submitted to court. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, just he is accepting responsibility. He is remorseful. He's made attempts to show he's part of the solution and not the problem here. By acknowledging responsibility in this matter, we're asking the court to consider the facts of this case, the circumstances, his entire cooperation with law enforcement throughout that investigation, and to show some leniency considering those facts and circumstances.
All right, State, is there anything you wish to say with regards to sentencing?
The only thing that I wish to say is that while I do not doubt the sincerity of the author of the letter in support of Mr. Gomez, I am somewhat skeptical of its accuracy in terms of its judgment of his character. That's all, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. State you may be excused. All right, is there anything you wish to say, sir?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Nick Gomez Jr.
All right, what do you wish to say?
Well, I just really wanted to say, this is the first time I had came home and started just doing what I had to do. I got me a job. It was my first time getting an actual real job. I'm an excavator operator. I would work underground utilities. It was the first time I ever did a income tax check. It was my first time not going back into the crime of what I used to do or things that I used to do. It was the first time I was trying to be a father, a good, productive citizen. They led up to this point. I've made a lot of wrong choices in my life, but these two choices I made, I felt they were good. It's just I feel like my past has caught up to me, and just how they said in my character, I get judged on my character a lot. You know?
All right, so I'm reading, I read the steps. I always read everything. And even though I know the count was waived, it's a part of your stipulations and there's meth involved.
Yes, ma'am.
So how are you getting your life back on track and doing the right thing when you have family to take care of and you have meth in your vehicle?
Yes, well, the gun and the meth, well, to that day, I had just got promoted at work. And in that promotion, while I was getting dressed, I moved my son's backpack. Well, those are two.
Wait, I'm sorry, you moved what?
My son's backpack.
All right,
Those
so
are
you're
two
saying,
items I find inside. So as I take it, I'm thinking, all right, well, being a dad, I got to tend to this. I need to get this, but I also have a job promotion with all my foremans. So as I go, I pulled over to get sick. I had been working all that whole week. We're working that whole week, long hours. I pulled over, I went to sleep for a little bit, and that's when the call came in. I mean, I couldn't just stop what I was doing right then and then to tend to that right then and then. I had to do the job promotion.
all right. And so you're saying,
I'm not trying to place the blame on
No.
anybody
I
at all.
understand. So you're saying you just grabbed the backpack and put it in the vehicle?
No, once I found it, I just took it.
So did you take the backpack or no?
No.
Okay. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, the court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. I want you to know that I strongly considered your mother's letter, but when you look at your criminal history, it's not good at all. You've been to prison 2 times before. So in actuality, your minimum really is 25. So for you to have received 10 years, you'll still have time to get your life together and get it back on track. But you're not allowed to have any weapons. You're a convicted felon. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Yes. Yes. All right, do you think Mr. Wolf can see his client downstairs? Okay. So who's the prosecutor with Mr. Wolf on his client?
I'm Your Honor. We do not have the file. I've checked with the intake attorney and advocates plural. So I'm working on it as we speak.
All right, so,
But I am familiar with the general contours of this defendant.
all right, so they need to find that file because it took a lot to transport him over due to the weight.
Yes, so I think on a practical note, Your Honor, if we were to come to agreement today, I wouldn't need the file. There's no missing discovery. There's no like records we would need in this case. And again, counsel and I have spoken off docket about this case a few times. So if we're able to come to an agreement, we can make progress, Your Honor. But just please note for the court's record, I'm working on it diligently in the background.
All right, so Mr. Wolf, you can go. They need an order. I'll provide an order for you to speak to your client wherever they have him. He's at the courthouse is my understanding. And then if there's an agreement, we'll see if you all can fill paperwork back there. And then we'll see if somebody can have a computer to Zoom him into the court.
Let me confirm first, we'll have something to talk
Thank you.
about.
Hi, did you need me? Well, wait,
This is not the court's.
okay. Who's here on Karina Rodriguez? All right, who is here? I'm sorry, we have a interpreter. After this, I'll take up Priscilla Para.
Okay,
All right,
we're
thank you.
ready.
All right, thank you. Oh. Miguel, are you all still, you still need to confer? Oh, you all are working on the paperwork?
Yes.
Okay, continue. I'll call up this case then. Thank you. All right, court is calling. Yes. No. Oh, yes, I have it. And I'll take that up next. Westbrook? All right, Westbrook. I'm sorry, then I'll call yours up. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Seeloff. Karina. Oh, no wonder I was calling Karina Rodriguez. This is somehow in this file. All right, Travis Gordon Westbrook. Westbrook?
Going on? Probably get a flag.
All right. All right, Priscilla Para.
Ready, Your Honor. She's not going anywhere.
Come on down. Court is calling 2024 CR 5811, State of Texas versus Priscilla Para. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Edmund.
Defense?
James Seeloff for the defendant.
Are you Ms. Para?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Para, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Not exactly, but
Well, no, I want to make sure.
It's in your hand. Yes.
All right, I want to make sure you understand it. Is this document?
Yes.
yeah, I understand it's paper with words on it, but I don't understand what the words mean on the paper exactly.
All right.
She doesn't understand what an indictment is, but she knows what she's pleading to.
All right. So instead of using the word indictment, do you understand what charges the state has brought against you?
Yes.
Okay. And did you review those charges with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sometimes I forget we can't use legal words. We shouldn't.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, there's no need for you to apologize. You wouldn't know indictment or these other words unless maybe you were an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's my fault for not speaking in layman's term.
Thank you.
All right. Did you review this document? It tells you what you're charged with and your rights. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So do you understand your charge? I'm sorry, counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Waive the reading.
And state, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So do you understand you're charged with tampering with evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yeah.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow that plea. If for any reason I don't follow the plea that you've reached with the state and I give you more than what you agreed to, you can withdraw your plea. You understand?
Okay,
All right, do you understand though?
yes,
All right. Do you understand you have a right to jury trial?
yeah,
You have a right for you or your attorney to question any witnesses the state would call. Do you understand?
okay, thank you,
Do you understand that?
yes,
All right. If there's something you don't understand, you need to let me know.
okay,
All right. Okay. Did you understand you have a right to remain silent? That means that you don't have to testify if you don't want to testify.
this is the first I'm hearing about it, but okay,
That's the part I told you, you could go to sleep during your trial and she couldn't even ask you a question that you'd have to respond to. Right to remain silent. You're gonna waive that so you could say whatever in front of the judge. You
Oh.
understand now?
okay,
Remember? Yes?
all right. thank you.
Yes?
Yes,
All right. So let me explain it to you. So you're charged with tampering of evidence. If you were to go to trial, what would happen is there would be 12 jurors sitting over here. And those 12 people sitting over there would listen to whatever evidence the state would bring. So if the state were to call a witness, let's say they were to call someone named John. They would call John. The state would ask them questions. Your attorney, if he wanted to, could ask them questions. Do you understand?
okay, yes,
Yes.
All right. Now, after the state had presented and all of their evidence or called everybody that they wanted to call for me to hear from, or from the people in the box to hear from, then what would end up happening is if you wanted to be called to have the state and your counsel ask questions of you, you could. But if you decided, no, I don't want to be called and I don't want to answer any questions, then you don't have to. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am,
All right. Did you understand that those were your rights? Right. And did you understand because you're entering this plea bargain agreement that you're giving up those rights?
okay,
Do you understand that?
yes,
You have to say yes instead of okay. You understand?
not really, but okay.
All right. So here's the thing. I really don't, is she competent?
She was until you started asking her some questions.
All right. So I don't feel comfortable continuing with this plea. If you want to talk to her some more and explain to her, and if she understands, then I will go forward. Okay.
Okay,
Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues?
I have PTSD,
All right. Anything else?
anxiety and depression,
All right. Anything else? Were those the only diagnosis you had?
that's it that I know about,
All right. Have you ever seen a psychiatrist?
yes, many times,
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a step back because I want to make sure that you know everything that you're agreeing to before you agree to it. And I'm going to have your attorney speak to you some more so we can find out. All right.
okay,
All right. Thank you so much.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, John.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
yes, John.
Yes.
Thank you.
Westbrook. Travis Westbrook. All right. So,
I
hi.
apologize, Your Honor, he went to the restroom just.
Oh,
really
no,
quick.
that's fine. Hey, no need to apologize for that. It's a function that we all must engage in. All right. So today is the plea deadline date.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, so at the last setting, we were unable to get their kind of additional discovery and things that they wanted to provide to the state.
Mhm.
We were able to confer off docket and kind of review everything. And we have an agreement, or the proposed agreement, if you will, to have a referral to Veterans Treatment Court. My understanding is that even given the information that council provided me, a DD 214 and other things that this individual served, so that is what we have discussed.
All right. So usually with Veteran Treatment Court, it takes 3, 4, 5 months. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to recall you all back I'm going to set it for jury trial in September. If you all are able to have him in Veterans Treatment Court, great. If not, you all have to decide to do something else.
We will absolutely do that, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you set this for jury trial in September? And Mr. Westbrook, do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you are placed in Veterans Treatment Court, of course, there won't be a jury trial. And counsel, you're gonna have to stay on Veterans Treatment Court.
I spoke to them yesterday, Your Honor.
Okay,
Sort of given me some tips on what to do to try to expedite it.
okay.
It's September 9th.
All right, your jury trial is gonna be September 9th. And of course, if you're accepted into Veterans Treatment Court, then there will be no jury trial.
Okay.
And counsel, if he's placed in Veterans Treatment Court before then, just let the court know and we'll move him off the docket.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Have a good.
Excused.
All right, yes.
Okay, we're gonna be on Tara.
All right, just one moment. Let me see what page Westbrook is on.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 5811, State of Texas versus Priscilla Parra.
Ready, Your Honor.
All right.
I went over everything with her again and she seems to understand.
Okay. All right, Ms. Parra.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if there's anything that you don't understand or you have a confusion about something, let me know. And there's no need to have any fear of letting me know that you don't understand something. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
See,
So where we left off, do you understand that if you want a jury trial, which would mean there would be 12 people sitting, hearing all of the evidence or witnesses' testimony, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you want a jury trial?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you understand the rights that I've talked to you about?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you understand that by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your probation were revoked, then the court could sentence you up to 10 years in prison?
Yes, I understand.
All right. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
yes, she has, and we're pleading nolo contendere, Your Honor.
All right. Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I believe she does, and she has assisted me.
All right. Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe she was.
All right. Ms. Parra, has anyone threatened you or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the bargain that you have with the state?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, according to that, there's a $1,500 fine. The state is asking that I grant your application for deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration County Court Cause number 734347. There's going to be restitution, money you have to pay for any damages, and 734347 to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense, is that the agreement?
That's our agreement. We're pleading nolo contendere, and I explained to her that $750 restitution, if she has it and she's working within those 2 years, she has to pay it.
All right, state, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney?
That's the one where if she
The one where I signed it
sends,
twice?
yes, you signed it twice. There
Okay,
you
yes,
go.
ma'am.
All right. Did you understand by signing that, you will not be able to appeal this case unless there have been pretrial motions that your attorney has filed or you have filed, and that I've heard those and made a decision about those. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Have there been any such
There has
motion?
been no motions filed, Your Honor.
All right, outside the agreement, the state is asking that you be placed on 2 years deferred adjudication, and there be 120 hours of community service restitution, which is volunteer work, and that there be a TAP evaluation, and that's to see if you have any drug issues. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so that's what they're recommending. I don't have to do that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then to the offense as charged, what plea are you entering?
No, no contest.
All right, State, do you have any evidence to support her plea?
Contained in exhibit 1 and attachment, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you review this document?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and State, you may be excused. And did you understand that that document has police reports? So instead of calling witnesses, the state is just giving me things that they've said, and it's in this document. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you understand that you can make the state and tell the state, hey, I want you to bring somebody in, a witness or a person, to say what happened. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, but because you're entering this plea bargain agreement, they're not gonna bring that person. Do you understand?
Okay, thanks. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Sorry. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, no problem. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
I just needed an invite.
Yeah.
And directions. Get
Yeah.
there.
I'll put the picture.
All right, what is the charge in cost number 734-347?
The county court case,
Yes.
that's malicious mischief, breaking squad car light.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't have that in this police report.
Right, that's what we're gonna take into consideration, but
All right.
I'm gonna run to county court 5.
All right. Court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court is not going to find you guilty. The court will defer that because you've applied for deferred adjudication. I'm going to place you on deferred adjudication.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Do you have any children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
5, 8, and 11.
All right. And who are they residing with? Where are they living?
I gave them up for adoption.
Okay.
I have requested that she apply for Haven for Hope, and I'm also need to tell the probation department to make sure that they write down the address and the directions to any meetings for probation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you will then report every time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. This is what the court will do. There is to be a $1,500 fine. The court will probate that.
Thank you.
Take in consideration 734-347. There's to be restitution in 73437 to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. 3 years deferred adjudication. I want a referral to felony drug court. That's to be in custody. They do have a dual diagnosis program, so they'll be able to help her with housing and
Okay.
everything else. I don't want her released and she's homeless and she has no place to go.
You understand? You're
Okay.
gonna be working with another government entity, drug unit, to find you a place to live.
Okay.
There's gonna be proof of employment. There's to be proof of employment or SSI within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And probation is, yes,
I'm sorry.
okay, if she's not accepted into felony drug court, we'll do a TAP evaluation in custody and follow TAP recommendations.
Thank you.
And there should be no unsupervised contact with minors. Probation, I'm unsure about the 120 hours of community service restitution. I don't know if she's able to do that. If for some reason she's unable to do that due to mental health, just let the court know. So there'll be 120 hours of community supervision. There's to be a MIC evaluation. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, and regular random UAs. And I'm gonna want field visits 1 time per month until she has a case manager or is in a felony drug court. And if for some reason felony drug court doesn't accept her, or if MIC says that she's not eligible for the program, then I'm gonna want a referral for her to the Center for Healthcare Services.
Okay, good, good.
There's a lot of help coming your way.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, I think that's good.
All right, is there anything else you need with help from the court?
Not that I could think of at the second.
I'm sorry?
Not that I could think of at the second.
All right, did you review this document with your attorney?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. If you need anything or you feel there's no one to talk to, you can always come back to the court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Curtis Wilson. Who's the attorney for Curtis Wilson? All right, thank you. State on Curtis Wilson, were you able to tender an offer?
We did get an offer today, Judge.
All right. How old are you?
19.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this for 1 month for a plea deadline date. So we're gonna bring you back a month from now and you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide sooner and your counsel wants to come back sooner, then he can ask and we'll place you on the docket. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what date? All right, so we'll bring you back on,
I'm out of state. I've got a vacation that was filed 3 times.
okay.
That whole week,
All right, so what is your vacation dates?
21 through 27.
Okay.
That whole week.
So you say 20, I'm sorry, 21 through what?
Sunday through Saturday, 21 through 27, 28. 21 through 27.
All right.
Sunday through Saturday.
Norma, could we put it on July 30th or the 29th?
Okay.
All right, we'll bring you back on July 29th. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you. Yes, that's the plea deadline date. You're welcome. Have a good one. And Norma, what page is he on? All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Judge, with the attorney, Mr. Wrightmore?
I just,
No, the attorney is Bud Ridenour.
All right, you know you. NOUR. Honestly, misspelled my name when they did conversions. I think we got that fixed. I'm not sure.
No, I have Miller. All right, who's here on Christopher Miller? All right. Court is calling 2024 CR 6101W, State of Texas versus Christopher James Miller. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Danny West Bar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Brittany Sparks for Christopher Miller. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your name. Brittany Sparks. Sparks? Yes.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest on May 16th, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
And have both parties had a chance to review the PSI?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Right. According to the plea bargaining agreement, state recommends deferred adjudication. This is the run concurrent with 2020 CR 1185C. There should be a drug court evaluation. If not accepted, then the follow the TAP recommendations. Excuse me, do you have 2020 CR 1185C? All right, is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge, he is, although it says otherwise in his PSI, Your Honor, he is willing to do drug court. He did qualify, he was accepted, but they had to give his spot away, is my understanding, because the sentencing was too far out. I've asked probation if there is a spot available. They said not right now. But I think they have graduation coming up and maybe a spot will be open soon. That is what he would like to do if the court will allow him to.
Okay. All right, anything from the state?
No, Your Honor, except that I think the other case, it's an MTR. I think both parties intend to sort of let that MTR expire because he'd be on the first time. Yes.
Okay. All right, does anyone wish to speak to length of probation?
Your Honor, our agreement with the state was for 5 years. That is what my client accepted, so.
All right, that's outside the agreement.
Oh, yes. I mean, as far as the length, I mean, that's what we would be asking for is for 5 years, but we understand that it's your decision.
Okay. It's the 2020 CR 1185C. All right. I see the nature of that offense. And what was the length of probation on that offense? Was it 4 years? All right. All right, the court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. Taking consideration night mag number 746576. There's to be referral to felony drug court. He's to remain in custody until transfer to felony drug court. Counsel, if you reach out to felony drug court, you can see when they can accept him. If for some reason they don't have any room for him in the foreseeable future, just let the court know and the court will consider a different placement. But for now, he's to remain in custody until accepted into felony drug court. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. The court will not waive any of those hours. You're going to have to do those hours. You understand? Oh, thank you. And it says in here that the guilt was minimized. Why is it saying that?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. In the.
And the PSI, yes. It says that he minimized guilt.
Yes, Judge, there was, the Nightmare case was a possession charge. Mr. Miller and I have spoken at length, because he had a difficult time accepting responsibility for the possession charge. We have spoken about him accepting the responsibility for this tampering with evidence. So I think since he has spoken to the judge, he has come to the realization of where we are with this case.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
I mean, I work out there. I mean, I continue to have jobs and I mean. I just need a steady balance. That's why I want to get into the felony drug court.
Do you have any children?
I do have a daughter.
And what's her age?
She just turned 10. I just missed her birthday because of all this.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. What?
I missed her birthday because of all this.
All right. Well, I mean, you missed her birthday for your own actions.
Right.
All right, there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. I'm going to order parenting classes. There's to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And probation, if for some reason he is not accepted into felony drug. Yeah, if for some reason with regards to felony drug court, he's going to remain in custody until they accept him. So he's to remain there. If it's taking a long time, then probation, you can let me know, or his counsel can let me know, and then I'll decide to do something else. But he's not to be released until he's in felony drug court.
Okay, finish it.
All right. And probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone, when we're on the record, excuse me, when we're on the record, there's a sign. Do y'all see that sign? All right, thank you. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, and I hope those burns heal. What were you doing in the kitchen?
I was cooking.
What were you cooking?
Dinner.
I mean, what's the meal?
It was just oatmeal, honestly.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Bear County Jail, probably oatmeal.
I have a slight issue with that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Due to the burns and infection and getting health care and seeing a doctor and going to do that. I mean, I've been waiting to go and waiting for this PSI and waiting to get into drug court for the last 30 days. I know you said I have to do it in custody.
Yes.
I mean, even with monitor or anything like that, because I'm trying to go and.
Because here's the thing, you have a drug problem. You have a major drug problem. The fact that you're on probation, the state made an offer with you, even though you're on probation for another case, they made an offer for probation on this case.
Yes, ma'am.
So people always want the sun, the moon, the stars. And then when they're at the very beginning, when they're looking at prison time, it's always like, I'll do anything.
Well, I mean, it was just because I was already, just because of the sentencing wise, I was already accepted in the drug court. I missed it.
Yeah. I mean, I could send you to prison and they'll give you, I think they have better medical care at the prison if you want.
It's not what I want.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And probation, with regards to his probation case, they're telling me that the agreement was to just let it expire. But we can run, he's on probation in 2020 CR 1185C. And Judge Hur is the one who signed the motion, or I'm sorry, the referral to felony drug court.
Okay. Yeah, he's on till September 28th, so we could just continue until then.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Just 1 second. This is not working. Who's here on Ramon Sanchez? Ramon Sanchez. Come down. Good morning. How's it going? All right, today is plea deadline date.
Your Honor, the last time the case was on, I didn't have a plea. They hadn't given it to me. You said you reset it for a plea deadline, that they were gonna provide me with the plea offer during that time. They didn't do it. They did give me a plea offer today, a few
Okay.
minutes ago. I would like to have a short period,
Sure.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it's worth.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Can you reset this the week of July 15th for a plea deadline date? It's Ramon Sanchez. All right, we'll come back on July 18th. If you want to come back sooner, just let your attorney know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, State.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone, the court is taking its recess at noon. Yes. John Martinez. Excuse me, the lady, excuse me, you, come forward. Yes, come, no, come forward. First of all, why are you in this court in shorts?
I'm sorry, I was just, I don't know, I've never really been in court.
All right, second of all, turn your phone over to the deputy. Do not close it. Deputy Laura, if you'll delete whatever photo she took, please.
This is just.
All right, who are you taking photos of?
Oh, I was just letting my daughter know my son was okay and that he.
No, my question is, who are you taking photos of? All right, so Deputy Laura, if you put her in cuffs, since you want to be next to her son and put her in the box.
I apologize, ma'am. I did
Oh, I
not,
appreciate your apology.
I didn't know.
All right,
Put your phone's picture up back.
and who is Rick in the box?
He's with Charles Monk.
All right. Well, I'm sure Charles Buck will come back and take care of you, but for now, you're going to be in the box. Who's here on John Anthony Martinez? All right, come forward. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. People don't pay attention to that sign because it's blocked for some reason. Yeah.
So I spoke with the state, Your Honor. We received an offer today. We would like to set the case for a plea in 30 days if possible.
All right. So do you have all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, on this case, it is John Anthony Martinez. Set it for a plea deadline date in 30 days.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, we'll be back on July 25th. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand? All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. All right, as soon as I have the file, I'll take it up.
Judge, you know who the attorney was?
All right, excuse me, to attorneys, when you come forward, whether we're on the record or not, if you can introduce yourself to the court reporter so she can get your name. She's new, so she's trying to learn everyone's name. Counsel?
Yes.
No. Yes. If you'll introduce yourself to the court reporter, please.
Oh, sure. Yeah. My name is Leah Alon, Leahallon.
Sorry, I have Gary Barton.
Oh, yes, I'm with his firm. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Sarah Elizabeth Gutierrez. Israel Medellin. Are you Sarah Gutierrez?
Yeah.
All right, you were late.
Oh, was she late?
Yes. All right, I'm just calling to make sure that she's here. She needs to be seated in the front row.
I was confused. I was like, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Darren Johnson. Marie Therese Mariah. All right, just have a seat there. Norma, what date do we give Mr. Stephen Tennyson? It's on page 9. Yes, it's the last one. All right. All right, thank you. Jacqueline Alonso.
Yeah.
Oh, Edward Piker, yes, ma'am.
All right, what's happening with this case?
Judge, we got an offer today
Okay.
and she's seriously considering it. I've asked her to give me 2 weeks to evaluate it for her and come back in 2 weeks and probably be approved.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Jacqueline Alonso, could I have a 2-week reset for disposition? All right.
All right.
That will be your last court date before jury trial. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Any other certificates you have, bring me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, take care of yourself.
Are the parties ready on RC Curtis?
State's ready,
Mr. Bonk?
Just stepped out there.
All right. Do we know if a ruling has come in?
Your Honor, we checked with the 13 Court of Appeals. CCA only sent it back to them yesterday, so a mandate has not been released. That's.
All right. Do you all have any idea of when?
My appeals section tells us they normally release within about 2 weeks routine time, so I think reasonably a month from now. you ought to
All
have
right,
something.
Ms. Ferguson, on this, call it for the end of July. All right, so if you come forward. Yes. All right, this is on RC Curtis. All right, so we're going to recall this back on July 30th. They anticipate that they'll have the mandate by then.
That's what my appeals section says. It normally takes them a few weeks once they get it. And that's the basis upon which I represent that to the court.
All right, so we'll come back with July 30th. All right, and the court notes that RC Curtis is by Zoom and no one has any objection to him appearing. So if the mandate is here, he can still appear by Zoom for that date, and then it's going to be a jury trial if date will be the next setting, if that's what it comes to. All right. And because I know that he is in the all fields or whatever, you will all, for the jury trial date that I'm going to end up giving you all, that will be your jury trial date and your plea deadline date. So you all can still confer, because I know this case got very complicated.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
No, you're. Thank
All
you.
right, Mr. Curtis, you're excused.
Ma'am, can I get your name? Lindsay Shaw. 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 S-H.
Lindsay,
L-Y-L-I.
N-D-F-U.
Judge, that was July.
Yes. And if you'll make sure that Mr. Curtis has the Zoom link. All right, thank you. All right. Whenever you all are ready. All right, and Mr. Bont.
I am.
Just 1 second.
Yes.
Just 1 second. My mouse is crazy. Riot Aguilar. Hi, and just let me know when you're all ready. Okay. Yes, come forward. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is for discovery.
Yes, Your Honor.
And we had a discovery acknowledgement file, but my understanding that there may be other issues.
We have provided the state with a lot of discovery. They're trying, it's a lot of photographs he took of the day where it was. It's our defense, basically. We weren't there. And so they're trying to plot out all the pictures. And they haven't been able to do so at this time, but they're working on it.
And you got the photos not that long ago. It's just actually sitting down and plotting everything out. I was starting to do that on the map, but it was starting to get complicated.
Okay. How much time do you need or you want?
Week or two, as long as I get a couple hours, like.
See, people always ask for a week or two, but if you just tell me what you want and I'll let you know whether or not I can, 2 weeks?
I was gonna say, I'm on vacation the 15th, so.
All right. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna give you more than 2 weeks.
Okay.
We'll reset it the week of July 29th.
Yes,
Is that enough time for everybody?
Should be more than enough time.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall on Riot Aguilar? The week of July 29th, and it's the exchange of discovery between council. All right, so we'll come back on July 29th. I'm giving the state extra time because I know you want them to have that time to make sure if the case should go forward or not.
I appreciate it.
All right, so that will be your last discovery date. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, are the parties ready on Monique Raleigh? Sure. Is this your person? Once you have the pull the file.
I went downstairs to see.
Mm-hmm.
You want to stay up there?
Mr. Zach Dunn.
Yes, Judge.
Warren Wolf, WOLF.
Okay.
All right, so defense said that he has seen his client.
He went down, I believe, yes.
All right, and defense, do you have all the discovery?
I'll have to check. I was able to see some things state had with them, but that's not everything that's there, so I need to verify that.
All right, state, were you able to tender an offer?
Yeah, so two things, Your Honor. Yes, we were, to answer your question, the state did convey an offer, and we've confirmed with counsel too that the discovery is on e-discovery as well,
All right.
just for the courts.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna drop off a flash drive tomorrow. I have trouble downloading this. It's not gonna burden you with my problems with these.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we're gonna set this for a plea deadline date and a jury trial date the same. Because I know there are issues with transportation. All right, what date?
I need to track down, I need to get an investigator, track down some things that my client is telling me to prepare a defense.
Okay.
So I'll need to do that before I can say I'm ready.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a plea deadline date and jury trial date. All right, your jury trial date and plea deadline date is going to be September 9th. And it will be an impact.
I will be out of the country.
All right, Norma, if you'll put it before that date.
And I'll be out of the country.
What date are you out of the country?
I leave the 29th of July.
And how long are you going to be gone?
I return September 16th.
All right, Norma, recall this for July 25th to see where they are.
Status?
Yes, and then after that, that's gonna be a quick turnaround for trial. So if y'all gonna reach any type of agreement, it needs to be done by that date.
I would ask that it be by Zoom, Judge.
Are they able to Zoom him?
Yes.
All right.
I don't think he's at, he's at the, what do you call it, at the county hospital, university.
All right, they can Zoom, but he'll be need to, if they reach an agreement, he's gonna need to be able to fill out paperwork there. All right. We'll see you back on July 25th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, are the parties ready on Christian Rojas? Thank you. Hi,
Morning, Your
good
Honor.
morning. Oh, and if you'll introduce yourself to the court report.
Miguel Angel.
All right, thanks. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1233, State of Texas versus Christian Rojas. Hi. Hello. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Andrew Harris, Salem, for the state.
Miguel Soto Pastrana for the defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Rojas?
Yes.
All right, there's an interpreter present. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you may lower your hand.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rojas, all of the documents that I'm going to go over with you are in English. Were those documents explained to you in Spanish?
Yes.
All right, and defense, do you speak Spanish fluently?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And were you able to communicate with your client in Spanish?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. I'm sorry, counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rojas, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, proceeding on the lesser included of Class B misdemeanor DWI.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of driving while intoxicated first? That is a Class B misdemeanor. The range of punishment is anywhere from 0 to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent
Yes, Your Honor.
and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rojas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or place you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you a US citizen?
No.
No.
Counsel, has your client been advised of the impact this plea will have on his immigration status?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Was he informed that the possibility of deportation, denial of naturalization, and the right to reentry may be revoked?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he had ample time to speak with an immigration attorney?
Due to us, Your Honor, we have an in-house counsel of immigration. On our last setting, we make sure that we do the extensive questioning regarding the immigration issues here. And we have provided that information to our client.
All right, and do you believe he understands the immigration consequences of entering a plea in this case?
Definitely, Your Honor.
Mr. Rojas, do you understand by entering this plea that it may have an impact upon your immigration status?
Sí.
Yes. Do you understand that you may be deported, denied reentry, and the right to naturalization?
Sí.
Yes. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sí.
Yes. According to the plea, your punishment is to be assessed at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $500 fine. The state is proceeding on the lesser included offense or DWI first. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Sí.
Yes. Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes.
We have 2 years of this
All right.
probation.
Mr. Rojas, did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Sí.
Yes. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Sí.
Yes. Counsel, have there been any such motions? Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, DWI intervention, VIP, ignition interlock for the full term, and 1 year driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Sí.
Yes. Then to the lesser included offense of DWI first, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Culpable.
Guilty. State, any evidence?
Contained in exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sí.
Yes. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Sí.
Yes. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Sí.
Yes. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, she's only a parent of 4 and now 5 because she's pregnant. He works here for a long time. He's awaiting his residency renewal. And he's just a good labor now.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. suspended. Mr. Davidson, if you can move so you won't block probation. Yeah, thank you. Court is going to sentence you to 180 days in the Bear County Jail, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. There's going to be 150 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes with compadre e compadre. And once those are completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. Ignition interlock the full term, and the court will note that the defendant has been on ignition interlock since the inception of this case. There's to be 1 year driver's license suspension. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. We're going to do 90 sober meetings in 90 days. TAP evaluation. Follow TAP evaluation recommendations. However, if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we're going to start with outpatient treatment. And there'll be one field visit for 1 month, and then at probation's discretion. All right, probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the trial court?
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Did you review the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. If there's anything you need from the court, let probation know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to me. All right. And if ever you think that you're going somewhere and you're going to have alcohol, you're not supposed to be driving. You would have saved so much money, so much time if you would have just had someone else drive. You understand?
Yes.
And I don't think Dolly Parton ever had a DWI. All right. Even when Jolene was involved. All right, have a good one.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right, you too. Have a good one. Thank you.
Maybe excuse me.
Oh, Donata. I know that. That's all I know. All right, great. How's it going?
My mom's here.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. All right, thanks. All right, tell your mom I said hi.
Are you coming in for, Reitmeyer?
Yeah, we're on the same law.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Victor Garcia. If you'll come forward. All right, we're gonna have to recall your case. Your attorney is ill. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can you recall it in maybe 3 weeks? All right, we're gonna come back on July 18th. And did you make your appointment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, they're gonna give you a reset form for July 18th.
18? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank
And
you.
once you sign that, you're excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Who's here on Sarah Gutierrez? All right, so has it been discovered? Family violence case, not a family violence case?
So update for the court. So since the last setting, Ms. Gutierrez's case in the misdemeanor courts was transferred to County Court 13.
Okay.
But then there is this new accusation that could potentially lead that County Court 13 case to be filed as an indicted repeater VPO. I discussed with Mr. Dunn. He has no update from intake at this point. He gave me the contact information for the intake attorney for the court that I would need to contact about a timeline about when that could be indicted. I discussed with Mr. Escobar and he is actively providing me reports for those accusations. So we are getting updated on that as well. And I discussed with Ms. Gutierrez, she is interested in accepting the state's offer to TIC this active case with a plea of a combination of those cases. The holdup for the court, of course, is getting those cases filed so that we can enter the case, confirm 3914 is being complied with, and then have it.
All right, so I'm giving you all a plea deadline date. There will be no further extensions of plea deadline dates. This case has been on the docket for a while.
Understood.
I understand that there were a lot of moving parts. So I'm setting this at the end of July, and that's plea deadline date.
Yes.
And make sure you're on time, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Ferguson, what date? All right, we're gonna come back on July 30th, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
What is your name? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Mario Moreno.
All right, Monique Raleigh Williams.
Judge, if we may pass, we're still conferring.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Hang tight, Monique, okay? Good luck.
Cherish Draper Ward. Cherish Draper Ward. All right, this is for sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor, I wanted to address them in preliminary. Some probation, they've been requesting another screening. I guess they just had her screened and now have a mental health screening that won't occur until August 22nd.
Let me see. All right, we're gonna go forward. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1983, State of Texas versus Ashley Draper Ward. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Oh, sorry.
for the defense?
Christopher Simpkins.
And are you Miss Ashley Draper Ward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you entered a plea of guilty. The judge found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending community supervision. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor, but we're okay with proceeding anyway because we are recommending these.
All right, defense? All right, any objections to the PSI report?
None, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I believe she's motivated, she'll be successful, and she understands that she faces severe repercussions if she does not live up to her obligations. But that's what she followed the plea bargain agreement.
All right, Ms. Ward, do you have any family support?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who's your support system?
My grandmother's.
All right. And do you have any children?
3.
Okay, what are their ages?
5, 6, and 8.
And who are they with?
My mother-in-law.
And have you had any CPS cases in regards to them?
No.
When's the last time you had contact with them?
Before I was incarcerated.
So how did it come to be that your mother-in-law had custody of them?
My first incarceration, she took custody while I was incarcerated.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you step up to the mic a little bit more?
All right, this is what the court is gonna do. Court is gonna sentence you to a $500 fine. That's gonna be probated. 4 years deferred adjudication and states you may continue to confer. There's gonna be 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm gonna order you to complete parenting classes. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. I'm sorry, Ms. Eckel, if you could move so probation can, yeah. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's going to be anger management.
Yes, ma'am.
She's going to remain in custody for her Tacoma exam. And they say that's scheduled at August 22nd.
Yes.
And we'll follow those, what their recommendations are. If for some reason she's not accepted, then we're going to do a referral to Center for Healthcare Services. You're going to need to sign a release for any type of medical treatment that you're receiving. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular UAs, proof of employment, or SSI within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits, 1 time per month until she receives her case manager. And that's the case manager for mental health. Sorry, just let me check one thing. And also, let's do a referral to felony drug court. And we can also do a referral to mental health court and let mental health court know that if she is accepted to mental health court, the court will entertain a motion for new trial because they'll only accept her if she does not have a open probation case. And the reason why I'm doing that, I think that they will be able to address any issues you have weekly more than this court is able to do. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. State, are you going to have any objections if mental health court were to accept her to for a motion for new trial?
Not at this time.
All right. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Judge.
All right, is there anything else you need in order to be successful?
Oh, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Don't use your mental health issues as an excuse. Do you understand? I understand mental health, but you were involved in a dangerous situation that could have ended very badly for you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what's up with all the names? Whose names?
My kids.
Hmm?
My kids.
All right. I always tell people, if you're going to put a name on your body, children, mom is usually a safe bet, not your significant other. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. If you need anything, you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What's in your ear?
Earplugs.
I'm sorry. Oh, earplugs. Well, how are you able to hear with earplugs?
They're not very good.
Okay. How does she get earplugs at the jail, or do they make those? Okay. So here's the thing. I know at the jail, people make a lot of things, but all of that is considered contraband and it'll get you in trouble at the jail. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Rick Contreras. Hello, where's Nick?
He's coming, Judge,
All right.
and he apologizes for his mother.
Oh, don't you know, we're
Good
all
evening.
adults. I appreciate you apologizing for
Sorry,
your
I
mother.
really do.
Yeah, but you know, if she calls you or visits you at the jail, remember to tell her, you know, she can't do that in court. And let me explain to you why. Because we try to run things smoothly. And when people start doing extra in the audience, the deputies are on high alert. They're already on high alert. Then people end up not being able to come back to court. And I know you would like her to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'm sorry. We just buried my brother, so she's kind of,
Oh, your defense attorney explained it to me. So I talked to the defense attorney and the deputy. She's gonna be released, but sometimes people need to see how it looks in the back.
yes,
And then they'll say, okay, I'm gonna follow the rules.
yes, ma'am.
All right, so where are we on this case?
Okay, Judge, I'm recently new to Mr. Contreras' case. He has on his MTR an allegation of a new number one. And for reasons that I can't explain, his new number ones have been pending in another court for a long time.
Oh, I can't explain either.
However, I've remedied that. They're going to be transferred to this court. Mr. Garahan, for that reason, has never even seen the new number ones.
Okay.
So so we're gonna ask for some time
Okay,
for that to happen. In addition, no one's ever asked for a bond to be set on Mr. Contreras' MTR. He's on deferred adjudication for this offense. I'm asking the court if we would consider setting him a bond.
all right, let's do first things first.
So I'd like to reset his case first.
Yes, all right, so, yes, I don't know why those cases
I
are
don't either, but
in the
that has
175.
been fixed. I've spoken to your court staff and they've remedied that as well. So.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, let's recall this in 30 days. We'll call it in 30 days as far as the discovery. It won't be set for hearing yet. So, all right, so it's gonna be July 25th.
I'm out of town. Can we do the following week? Yes.
Sure.
Please. Yes, that's perfect.
All right, so August 1st for discovery on new cases.
Attorney, are you Mr. Bunk?
I am Charles Bunk. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, and state, are you prepared to proceed on an oral motion?
Yes, sir.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2910W State of Texas versus Rick Anthony Contreras. Rob parties announced for the record for the state. Defense,
Charles Bunk for Mr. Contreras.
and are you Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense is asking for bond and by way of oral motion. Any objection to the motion being oral?
Not from the state, no, Your Honor.
All right, the defendant is on deferred adjudication. Legally, he's entitled to a bond. Have you all had a chance to discuss a bond amount?
No, Your Honor.
Do y'all want to discuss a bond amount?
We will briefly judge this. That we've agreed, if it satisfies the court, we're in agreement at the bond being set at $10,000.
All right.
That is correct.
All right, the court, the defendant is on bond out of this court, so the court is aware of the defendant's criminal history. The court is aware of the defendant's mental history, which does not exist. And so I'm just putting on the record that the court is aware of his background. So since you've been at the Bexar County Jail, have there been any mental health issues that have arisen?
No, ma'am.
All right, are you on any type of medications?
Not ma'am.
All right. And do you have a place to live if you were released?
Yes, ma'am.
And are there only adults in the household?
My son lives there.
All right, how old is your son?
He's 3. He's gonna be 4 in October.
All right, so your son is there and who else is there?
His mother.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to follow your agreement. Set your bond at $10,000. There should be no unsupervised contact with minors, so you can have contact with your son, but there needs to be an adult there.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's going to be, you're going to have to do UAs. Probation will tell you of a location you can go. since this is still pending
Yes, ma'am.
and open, the motion to revoke, you're not currently supervised by probation because the motion to revoke is pending. So they'll let you know where you can go to do UAs. It just won't be done under them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna order regular UAs. Is there anything else?
Nothing else, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
May
You
we
have a
excuse?
great day.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
He needs to tell you something.
All right, so everyone, the cases I have now are the only cases that I'm taking up. Everything else will come after recess. And so the cases I'm taking up is going to be McDaniel, Rowley, Luna, Medellin, Johnson. I'm sorry, what is this? All right, thank you. All right, so Darren Johnson. Hi. Okay, who's it for? All right. Darren Johnson, who's the attorney on Darren Johnson? All right, sir, you'll be back in the afternoon. Your attorney's not here. All right, Ramiro Sandoval. Come forward, please. Who's the attorney on Ramiro?
One of your good, Your Honor, but I'm here for her.
All right, thank you. All right, if you'll make sure you introduce yourself to the court reporter.
Danielle Cranberg. C-A-C-R-A-M-B-E-R-G. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Oh, this is the case with the interpreter. Oh,
Yes, Your Honor.
I couldn't see him.
This thing's full. It's like a headphone.
Okay. All right, I'll take that up.
Ready.
Thank you. So in this case, there was an issue of whether or not he's a citizen. The defendant believes he's a citizen, but you all were to check into that.
I last want to know about that.
All right, and this is a family violence case.
It's real.
Are you aware? Okay. Zach Dunn,
Yes, Judge.
this is a family violence case.
Which case is this, Judge?
Ramiro Sandoval.
Okay.
CPS record?
Yep.
All right. So there was an issue. He thinks he's a citizen. Nobody knows if he's actually a citizen. That's supposed to be checked into. So where are we on discovery?
Well, while they're gonna check into that, then, do you mind as well, Your Honor, if we get your signature here? This is a case where we have the records. And it's going to come by to view the forensic interview. When they do that, it'll be a 2-for-1. We'll give them our copy that the paralegals create and they can do the forensic.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, this is going to be recalled for the end of July for discovery. You all need to be prepared to sign a discovery acknowledgement, and the immigration issue needs to be solved. All right, we'll be back on July 29th for discovery.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Is there anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll give him a reset form. And also, Norma, if you can make sure Charles Funk, last client, gets a reset form as well. All right, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Your Honor.
All right, Darren.
On to your next case, may Judge Wolf and I approach FTR.
Just give me one moment. Let me call this case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Darren Johnson. Come forward.
Your Honor, she may have been unaware of the court date today, suggesting that you give me some time to get her in here. I don't know that she,
All right.
yes.
All right. Of course, states, there's been some odyssey issues. He's saying that he doesn't believe his client is aware of this setting. I can issue a warrant for her, or either we can recall it back on July 1st.
That Monday?
Yes.
Can we please do that without a warrant, because I didn't know, I was here for something else. I didn't know she was said either.
And so he's saying he did not know she was set either.
I'm fine with July 1st, Judge.
All right, Norma, on Darren Johnson, we're going to recall this for July 1st. If your client doesn't appear, then a warrant may be issued. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, if you all approach and just give me a moment.
Your Honor.
After that, let me ask you on something else.
What are you asking?
I just wanted to inform the court that I filed a motion for a new trial on the case for standard
Sure.
procedure.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Mr. Davidson.
It's on Rebecca Alvarez.
All right, thank you. All right, let me find what page this is on. All right, thank you.
That one over there?
What do you want to speak to me about? Yes.
Judge, I have conferred with Mr. Edelman. This is a first setting on an MTR. There is a.
What is this?
Pardon me, I'm sorry, Judge Israel Medellin, I informed the clerk.
All right, where's Mr. Medellin?
Present, Mr. Medellin.
All right, what did you all want to discuss with the court?
Judge, I was conferring with Mr. Edelman. This is the first setting on the MTR. He had initial offer. I would like for him to have an affidavit that was signed by a co-defendant. It's part of the basis of the new number ones. And he said he'd take a look at that, have a different open mind. I'm going to get him to that before the next setting. So I'm just asking for a setting for him to take a review of that and get some medical documentation that I have for my client as well regarding cannabis use.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Recall this for the week of July 15th, please.
Thank you very much, Judge.
He does have an active warrant.
Actually,
Okay.
I looked into that. If we can just hold him here, Judge, he doesn't. It's been resolved. I have an email that.
All right,
verifies that.
we'll have him, we'll bring him back.
Okay,
All right, Ms. Ferguson, what date?
bring him back. Can you just take 2 seconds? Please.
Yes, the week of July 15th.
Good. Can we take 2 seconds, please?
Okay, so here's the thing,
I can show
guys.
you the
No,
dismissal.
no, no. Here's the thing. Everyone, just come down.
No, I'm just.
Guess
saying it's
what?
kind of tight.
All right, I understand. So she's gonna put you in the box. I'm gonna call these cases and then we'll come back to you. So just give me a second. So what date?
July 18th.
All right. No, that's for discovery. So that's July 18th. And then counsel, if you will show that to the clerk in the back and they will be able to pull something. So.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, thank you. Okay, just 1 second, Daniel.
Judge, take your time, please.
Yeah.
It's been it's one of those days.
It is. You know, this always happens on Friday Eve. So saying July 18th. All right, and what did you want to show me?
Dismissal, Judge, for
Okay,
it's the other open case.
all right, thank you. Clarence McDaniel. Is that on the docket today?
This one? No, Judge, this is just something that was hanging out there. I decided just.
Oh, thank you. Court is calling 2024 CR 4842, State of Texas versus Clarence McDaniel. Can our parties announce for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris Edelman.
Defense?
Marissa Giovenco, it's Giovenco for Mr. McDaniel.
All right, and are you Clarence McDaniel?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. McDaniel, did you review the application for deferred adjudication or community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Proceeding on count 1, waiving count 2, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're gonna need to keep your voice up.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on count 1, that's possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a first-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge, I do.
Mr. McDaniel, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 1. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. This will run concurrent with County Court 14 number 726688. State is taking in consideration 726689, 726690, 2024 CR 4841. There's to be restitution in cause numbers 726689, 726690, and the state is silent on your applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea.
Judge, just to be clear, my understanding was it was going to be a cap of 7. We are happily going to accept a cap of 6 if the paperwork says otherwise.
Now, the paperwork says a cap of 7.
Okay, you said 6 on the record, so
Oh,
I
I'm
wanted
so
to be
sorry. I thought I
clear.
said 7.
Okay,
All right, so is that the plea?
yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the state. By the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offense as charged in count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State, any evidence?
Contained in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Obliged, Your Honor.
I have reviewed that with my client. We have no objections.
All right, Mr. McDaniel, did you understand again, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Probation, is there any way to expedite this, or is that too much expediting in the court?
It's early try for you, Judge.
All right, Norma, could you put this, if we were to put this at the end of July, you think, just to see if we were able to do it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Norma, could you put this as for sentencing the last week of July? All right, we'll bring you back on July 29th, counsel. Of course, if it's not prepared, then we won't proceed. We'll get a new date.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Paul Luna. Oh, I'm not taking anything up after these 2 cases, so they'll have to come back in after then. All right. Hello, where are we, counsel?
Your Honor, I've conferred with the state. We are close to resolving this case.
I do need to do some due diligence just to make sure that everything's good on the case before we accept any plea offer. So we're asking for a short reset, and we'll come
Is
back.
the week of July 8th too soon? Or you want the week of July 15th?
Double check my calendar, Judge. Week of July 8th is actually better.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, could I have a date for disposition a week of July 8th? 8th or 11th?
The 11th.
All right, we'll bring you back on July 11th. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Who's here on Rebecca Alvarez? Rebecca Alvarez. Okay. All right, Monique Raleigh Williams.
Present Judge. Charles Bunk for Ms. Williams.
All right, what is happening with this case?
We have an agreement on the MTR, Judge.
All right, if you'll have her come forward, please.
She is coming, Judge.
No.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 11076, State of Texas versus Monique Renee Raleigh Williams. Could I have parties announced for the record of the state?
Zach Dunn for the state.
Charles Bunk for Ms. Riley Williams.
And are you Miss Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could I have a file stamp, please? MTR. Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Monique Renee Raleigh Williams who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 11076 for the offense of deadly conduct firearm on July 11, 2022 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Monique Renee Riley Williams, then and there failed to submit to drug testing for the month of March 2024, as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or duly organized, authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, the state waives and abandons the other conditions.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court can find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 10 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court is going to find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is a proposal, Your Honor, yes.
And what is that proposed agreement?
The proposed agreement is to follow the recommendation of probation, which is amend conditions for continued CPS compliance, BIP class completion, and a no harmful or injurious contact with the defendant's child's father.
And what's the name of the father?
Jarrell Sinquist.
Darrell what?
Jarrell Sinquist.
Spell the first name.
Jorel, Sinquist, Senquiz. Yes, please.
All right, why are you not, you want to raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state your name for the record.
Monique Riley Williams.
Why are you not being successful on this probation? You're supposed to report for UAs, you're not doing it. Why not?
I missed this one. I'm gonna be completely honest. I had forgotten. I don't do drugs or alcohol. I've never came out dirty, so I did ask him to if I can do one that week and he told me yes, so I did 2 for the next month.
All right, is that correct probation that she did 2 for the next month?
Yes.
All right, if you need to get a calendar, you're gonna have to get a calendar. You're looking at 10 years in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other recommendations?
No, Your Honor, that's the entirety of the proposed recommendations, Your Honor.
All right, I can tell you with regards to Jorel Sinquez, I'm not going to do a no harm for injurious contact until he provides a letter to probation or comes and tells the court that he wants to have contact with you. There's a reason why people are asking for no harm for injurious contact. So the court is going to deny the motion, alter the main conditions to include CPS compliance, the BIPP course, and there's to be no contact with Jorel Sinquez. And if there's an issue, obviously there is an issue because it's CPS, so there's a child involved. If there's an issue with child exchange while the CPS case is pending, they can help make that happen without your contacting him. You are not to have contact with him. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That means no phone calls, no letters, no, I'm sorry, no, let's try to work this out. No, what's happening? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's just some side advice that I used to always tell my clients on CPS. When you break up with somebody and you are no longer together, they may tend to bring other partners in your child's life that you think they should not be. What you need to do is contact your attorney, or in your case, contact CPS. But you are not supposed to be putting your 2 cents in that relationship. And whatever you do, if this no contact order is ever lifted and you all are doing child exchanges, don't bring your significant other to the child exchange. And if they bring their significant other to the child exchange, just bite your lip and accept it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because crazy things end up happening when people are bringing girlfriends and boyfriends who really have nothing to do with nothing to a child exchange. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Judge, she did want to ask, she's got her diploma. and She
Oh.
wanted to ask if that would help with her community service.
Yes, let me see. This
I'm
is
enrolled
awesome.
in college.
And she starts college in August.
Oh, yes, of course that will help. This is great. You know, I ended up going to Booker T. Washington High School.
Yes, ma'am.
The other schools that had more money than our school had, they did not have the leather binding. And my mom would tell people, hey, where's your leather binding? My daughter has leather binding. But, oh, this is so awesome. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And so what are you going to study? What are you doing in college?
Phlebotomy, hopefully.
Okay, awesome. I can't do that. Don't like the sight of blood, but all right. Well, good luck to you. Just keep striving. And sometimes when you're striving to do different things and better yourself, it's difficult. It gets hard, but don't lose sight of what your hopes and dreams are. Just keep pushing it. Even though the days are long, at some point you're going to reach, your degree.
Yeah.
And then you're going to look back on it and you're going to say, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. And probation. She's gonna go to college. When she goes to college, community service hours will be deemed satisfied. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Everyone, the court is on recess.